Hey, good morning, YouTubers. It's me again. Hey, super early over here trying to beat the heat in Arizona. Hey, you know what? I just happened to be thinking of today or yesterday is had a guy bring in a saw. It was actually this steel MS-180C chainsaw, and it was toast. Was telling me that it was running, then he can't get it running, whatever. So, particularly on commercial equipment, because I know these guys are running this stuff really hard, and they might be 5 minutes away from the job, from finishing up a job, and it's just so hot out here. It's ridiculous. I mean, it really gets brutal, and they're 5 minutes away from finishing a job, and they just want to get it done, and so they push these machines past their limits. You can see how hot this one got right here. It actually went and discolored the body work, the plastic body work on this. So whenever you're going to look for a saw or look on something that's been worked really hard and stuff, take the time and just pull the exhaust off so that you can look inside the exhaust, and that's going to give you a real good idea of what's going on with that saw. Now, see if I can get this bad chicken to focus right here. This is the piston that came out of that steel right there I'm just showing you. And you want to know what? That's the intake side. Here's what I saw when I looked in through the exhaust. This thing is toast. It's not even worth working on anymore. So I don't know if you've ever seen a piston scored up that bad. It's very rare that it ran that long to get this bad. But the rings are all locked up, and inside of there's really nothing you can do. They don't want to spend the money to take and do new pistons, and I don't even know that I could take and clean out that cylinder well enough to make it work. So anyways, he told me to keep it for parts. But if you do happen to be out yard sailing or something, and you see a saw, an old vintage saw, I love working on these older ones. This one here is a Homelight Textron, whatever. I'm gonna say that it was like somewhere around 1978. So again, because it has been laying around for a while, what I do is like same thing. I'm gonna pull that exhaust off and look inside there. See if I can get some light going on for you. And what I do is like just take and turn it over. Take the spark plug out, make your life a little easier. When you look inside there, see how clean that piston is looking right there. There's no scoring on it, so that tells me that when I pulled on the rope, it had good compression too. So, but I mean, geez, that thing just looks so good inside of there. And then if maybe in the back, if we can show it up, it's got some marking on the cylinder, but it's not. I reached in there. If you can feel a groove with your thumbnail, then forget about it. It's on its way out the door. But when I reached in there with the real super small screwdriver and just did very gently, and I mean real gently, with got screwdriver and felt along those where I could see that discoloration in there on the cylinder. It's like, and I couldn't feel a thing. So this one's going to be a saver. It's going to be a keeper. I'll order up some parts or whatever. As long as I got three things, that's spark, compression, and fuel, then there's no reason why it shouldn't run. And I do have spark on it, so this one will be another rebuilder. And then over here, I got another Poulon. This one's all metal body, all metal case. I think it's actually seems to be a pretty decent saw. But we're going to go and we're going to look inside this one because it is so old. And again, all you got to do is like take and turn the motor over and look. Now this one has like a double ring configuration, but here's something that's kind of interesting about it. See on the very top, the rings are caged. Let's get my little pointer in here. Like the rings are caged. This right here, this keeps the rings from, like if those weren't there and the rings lined up over here, that would be enough to let them expand out and then snag on the side of the cylinder. We don't want that. So that's why they put that in the exhaust. So anyways, but when you're looking at it, you can see that there's a little on the very top of the piston, that color, and then it's starting to get a little discoloration as it goes by. That's just like whenever the rings happen to line up, and that's where the exhaust is making its way down the side. So, but it's not bad. There's no scoring. Look in the back. Same thing. Look in the back. There's a little discoloration back there, but nothing to keep it from running. So these are going to be some keepers. So carb kit is coming in for this. Get that one all squared away. Haven't even touched this one yet, but I know I'm gonna. Maybe do a video on this one here someday. And then this one is just absolutely toast. So I really like all these old pieces of equipment. Got here, this one's fairly new. It's an Echo CS400. There's the one that I did the video on before. It is that Echo CS306. That one works really good. Took it out and cut down a couple mesquites with it day before yesterday. Here's an old Husqvarna 61 from the 80s. That one's a champ. That one's a runner. So the weekend's over. I need everybody to come and pick up their saws. All right, you guys, catch you on the next one. Later.